The South Korean passport has been ranked third among the most powerful passports in the world, allowing holders to enter 191 countries without requiring a visa.
총 191개국 무비자 입국이 가능한 한국 여권이 전 세계 여권 파워 순위에서 3위를 차지했습니다. Alright, so another way of saying without requiring a visa is visa-free.
Visa-free travel, right.
There you go.
You can enter the country visa-free.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is really interesting because I was telling my wife just a couple days ago that Korea has one of the best passports.
Yeah.
That you don't need. I didn't know what number it was, but I know it's among the top, and turns out that it is now third place.
Yeah.
This is for 2024. So a few interesting notes here. I think it's hard to guess the first one. Because when I told my wife, I'm like, oh, I got a story on this. Korea's third. She goes, what's number one? And I hadn't read the article yet, and I was thinking, what would it be? What could it be?
Right.
I wouldn't have guessed, but Singapore. Singapore, if you have a Singapore passport, you can enter 195 countries without a visa. This is now a record, actually, for Singapore and for the ranking. So there's never been a country with this many visa-free travel options. Now, new lows were also being hit.
Oh, okay.
Not too surprising, but Afghanistan has been ranked the world's weakest passport. Its citizens can only travel to 26 countries without a visa. That's the lowest score recorded in the index's history of nearly 2 decades. A few other interesting notes. In 2014, the UK and the US they jointly held the top spot.
Right.
The UK has fallen to 4th, and the US has actually fallen to 8th.
Korea is way up there, though.
Korea is way up there, but
powerful passport.
Yeah, but so for Korea, you can enter 191 countries visa-free. The U.S. is 186. So the gap isn't huge, right? It's only 5 extra countries. But nonetheless, Korea's in third. Korea's passport, it's tied in third with a number of countries, Austria, Finland, Ireland, Luxembourg, and the Netherlands.
그래요. 그러니까 여권 파워 1위 국가는 싱가포르입니다. 195개국을 싱가포르 여권으로 갈 수가 있어요. 무비자로. 그다음에 이제 2위는 공동 2위인데 프랑스, 독일, 이탈리아, 일본 그리고 스페인이 그 여권이 있으면은 무비자로 192개국을 갈 수 있습니다. 근데 우리나라는 이제 공동 3위예요. 191개국을 갈 수 있는데 무비자로 오스트리아, 핀란드, 아일랜드, 룩셈부르크, 네덜란드 그리고 스웨덴과 함께 공동 3위를 차지했습니다.
I miss Sweden. Can't forget about the Swedes.
Of course. What's a passport holder, or who's a passport? What does holder mean?
Well, in general, holder means someone who has something or owns something. So obviously a passport holder, you have that passport. We could also, and we're going to hear about this when the Olympics starts, record holders, world record holders. If you get a visa, like I'm a visa holder, I have a Korean visa. You could be an account holder. When you call up the bank, I'm an account holder. Here's my number. You have a driver's license. You're a license holder.
그러네요. 무엇을 소지한 사람을 말합니다. 그래서 record holder는 기록 보유자, visa holder는 비자가 있는 사람, 레이 선생님처럼. 그 다음에 account holder는 계좌가 있는 사람이죠. 은행과 관련돼서. 또 license holder는 면허가 있는 사람인데요. 여기서 말하는 이제 passport holder, South Korean passport holder는 한국 여권을 소지한 사람은 191개국을 무비자로 갈 수 있다. So you are not required to have a visa to 191 countries if you have a South Korean passport.
Right, very, very lucky. So if you require something, you need it. If you don't require something, you obviously don't need it.
Yeah. Be required to do something. 무엇을 필요로 하다. You are not required to do something. 무엇을 할 필요가 없다. 자, 다시 읽어보겠습니다. The South Korean passport has been ranked third among the most powerful passports in the world, allowing holders to enter 191 countries without requiring a visa. Here's our next headline.
Massive wildfires near the Canadian town of Jasper have forced more than 25,000 to flee one of the country's largest national parks, as multiple blazes and thick smoke descended on the Rocky Mountain community.
네, 캐나다 제스퍼시 인근에서 발생한 대형 산불로 다수의 불길과 짙은 연기가 로키산맥 지역 사회로 번지자 해당 지역에 위치한 자국 최대 규모의 제스퍼 국립공원에서 2만 5천 명 이상이 대피했습니다. Are you familiar with this area of Canada?
No, I've never
Okay.
been out there, but I've heard of it. I've heard of
Okay.
Jasper. It's supposed to be very, very beautiful. It's right in the Rocky Mountains.
Right.
And it's right near this big national park. So on Monday night, officials in the province of Alberta, they ordered residents of the town to leave immediately. The town has about 5,000 full-time residents. And then this time of year, there's around 5,000 seasonal workers, and the park. And then they soon after, this was at night. Soon after, they said, "Okay, everybody in the town get out."
Right.
Then they said, "Now everybody in the national park get out." And they say at that time there was roughly 15,000 people. So that's 5, and then the 15. That's what gives the 25,000 number.
아, 그렇군요. 이 2만 5천 명이 왜 2만 5천 명인가 했더니 지역 주민이 5천 명 정도가 된다고 하고요. 그 다음에 이맘때쯤 이 지역에 와서 일을 하는 그 인부라고 해야 될까요? seasonal worker라고 했는데 그렇게 일하는 사람도 한 5천 명 정도, 관광객이 15,000명 정도가 된다고 합니다. 그래서 합하면은 한 2만 5천 명이죠. 그 지역에 있었던 관광객, 지역 주민, 일하는 분들 모두 포함해서 다 대피해라. 그래서 한 2만 5천 명 정도가 대피령을 받았다고 합니다. Alright. We're talking about massive wildfires here.
Massive means just very, very large.
Yeah, exactly. 굉장히 크다라는 뜻입니다. Some reports say the fires were out of control. So not only were they big, but they were hard to contain.
Yes, that's definitely an issue. And they're saying that this one they believe was sparked by lightning.
Oh, I see.
And in the province of Alberta, there's currently 170 fires. In the neighboring province of British Columbia, where Vancouver is, 316. They're saying this was from the report I read last night in the Canadian news.
Hundreds of fires there.
Yeah.
Well, thick smoke descended on the community.
So this word, if we just look at the word descend, descend means to go down. So you
Yeah.
could descend the stairs, you could be in the mountain, then you descend the mountain. But this term you have to look at as descend on.
Ah, yes.
So when you, usually a lot of times we'll talk about a large amount of people. So we know with the Olympics in Paris, thousands, hundreds of thousands, I don't know how many, millions of people from around the world will descend on Paris.
Yeah.
Or probably are doing it as we speak. So it's when something, usually people, arrive in large amounts somewhere, usually suddenly. A lot of times we'll use it in kind of a, the people who showed up were unwanted, right? Like droves of tourists descended on the small town, and then it maybe is a problem. So the smoke just sort of engulfed this
Yeah.
whole area.
그렇죠. 자, descend on까지 하면은요. 그 모습을 드러내다, 나타나다라는 뜻이 있고요. 여기서 이제 파리스 올림픽스 얘기를 해주셨지만 파리 올림픽이 26일 현지 시간 26일 개막식이거든요. 우리 시간으로는 27일 새벽인데 아마 굉장히 많은 사람들이 파리 올림픽을 직접 가서 보기 위해 거기에 모습을 보여주는 여기 갈 것입니다. 그래서 we could say a lot of people will descend on Paris. descend on은 그렇게 쓰는 거고 descend라는 것 자체는 하강이라는 뜻이 있습니다. 내려오다라는 뜻이 있어요. 여기서는 thick smoke descended on the Rocky Mountain community. 그러니까 이 짙은 짙은 연기가 이 제스퍼 지역 사회에 나타났다, 내려왔다. 두 가지 의미로 다 보시면 되겠습니다. All right, here's the headline again. Massive wildfires near the Canadian town of Jasper have forced more than 25,000 to flee one of the country's largest national parks as multiple blazes and thick smoke descended on the Rocky Mountain community. Here's our final headline.
Organisers of the 2024 Paris Olympic Games have tweaked French culinary tradition towards lighter, locally sourced vegetarian dishes at the Olympic Village in order to promote good health and reduce its carbon footprint.
자, 2024 파리올림픽 조직위원회는 건강을 증진하고 탄소 발자국을 줄이기 위해 올림픽 선수촌에 제공하는 식사를 전통적인 프랑스 요리보다 더 가볍게 현지에서 조달된 재료로 만든 채식 요리로 변경해 내놨습니다. Tell us more.
Well, they're saying that the Olympians will be served Michelin-starred dishes and plant-based meat alternatives. with things like croissants with poached egg, artichoke cream, and shavings of sheep's cheese topped with truffle.
The French are known to be dead serious about their food.
Yes.
They take it very, very seriously. So I would imagine the Olympic athletes there will be treated quite well in terms of the food.
Sounds kind of wokey to me, but yeah, you never know. Hopefully they like it. They're saying nearly 2/3 of the 500 dishes will offer vegetarian and meat-free options, like instead of hot dogs, not dogs. This was in the article. A meatless option that has onions and pickled cabbage. All the animal-based products will be sourced from within 250 kilometers of Paris.
그렇군요.
So that's one thing. They're saying leftovers will be redistributed to people in need. They're saying used coffee grinds will be repurposed for fertilization.
Sure.
One big thing, this came in the Beijing Olympics, when Usain Bolt won 3 gold medals, he said he ate nothing but chicken McNuggets. That's what he said. But in this Olympics, McDonald's has been banned in the Olympic Village. But countries have been allowed to make special requests. And the article that I read said South Korea has requested kimchi.
Okay. 자. 뭐 각국 선수들이 특별히 요구하면은 특별히 주문한 요리들도 준비될 수 있지만 일단 기본적으로는 좀 채식 위주로 가는 것 같고요. 파리에서 준비하기로는 그렇지만 맛은 있을 것이다. 이렇게 좀 자부하는 것 같아요. 아무래도 프랑스 사람들은 음식에 관해서는 정말 진심인 그런 나라잖아요. 근데 조금 변경을 했다라는 단어 보겠습니다. tweak.
Tweak is when you slightly change something. You make little improvements. So, like if you look at, maybe a speech you're doing or you're giving a presentation, you show somebody, they may suggest a few tweaks. Little changes here and there just to make it even better.
That's the most important thing of that change is that it's little. It's not a big change.
No, slight changes.
Slight change. 네, 아주 미세하게 변경할 때 tweaking 한다라고 하고요. Locally sourced.
That's when you buy something or get something close to the area you're in. And as I mentioned, they're saying that all the animal-based products will be sourced from within 250 kilometers of Paris. So in that area.
네, 그렇습니다. 현지에서 조달됐다라는 뜻으로 locally sourced라고 하고 있고요. 물론 이제 채식 위주로 한다고는 하지만 그래도 뭐 animal-based food도 있을 거라고 합니다.
Be interesting to see how the athletes get all their protein.
We'll
That's one thing that
see.
people like. There's people on different sides saying this is ridiculous. Other people saying no, it's a great idea. So the need for protein for athletes is one of the big ones. People are saying, why would you do this? Some people online are saying that.
All right. Well, here's the headline again. Organisers of the 2024 Paris Olympic Games have tweaked French culinary tradition towards lighter, locally sourced vegetarian dishes at the Olympic Village in order to promote good health and reduce its carbon footprint.